It's my original DM, the guy that originally drugged me into the back shed that was super weird and creepy and was like, "Here,
Oh yes, I remember that.
roll these
Yeah.
click clacks and tell me what you do." And I was just like, "Okay." So I didn't even know the
Sure.
rules for like a year. I didn't know the rules, and everybody would be arguing at the table, and I would just be like,
Mm.
"Sorry, my dog's trying to."
No, don't worry. Don't worry. I love that.
So she's gonna. She thinks that
Carry on.
I'm paying attention to someone else, so this is a good time to come start trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how about
My
you? How
cat.
long have you been playing or like DMing D&D and playing?
So D&D itself,
She
I
just
had
almost pulled everything down.
no, it's all right, take your time, don't worry. Um, I had one sort of one shot experience like maybe like 15 years ago. And absolutely loved it. And ever since then I've been kind of wanting to play, but I mean, the internet was in its infancy, I suppose, when I was doing that kind of thing, and it wasn't so easy to kind of find online groups. And um, I was terribly shy of approaching sort of like a game shop because I didn't know anything about it. So it was waiting until someone came into my life, I suppose, that actually was into it too, um, and could teach me the ways. But it was yeah, a friend of mine, Colin, who really kind of he GMs absolutely everything and anything, and we played all sorts of like TTRPGs over the last few years since I've known him. Um, and he, for some reason, he never wanted to play D&D with us because he was like, "Oh, there are so many other different things out there. Don't limit yourself to D&D. We'll play all this, that, and the other." But I was like, "But I wanna play D&D as well."
Just a
And
try.
eventually, yeah, I know it's like a classic. I mean, you can't not play it. So in the end, I decided to pick it up myself to DM because he wouldn't DM it for me. Um, and yeah, so literally, I've only really been playing and DMing at the same time D&D for like a few months. It's really not been that long. Yeah, it's like, but yeah, other TTRPGs are a lot longer than that. But yeah, D&D
Oh,
really fresh.
you've got what
So
it takes though, because I've watched several of your videos talking about your world, and I'm just like, I love this.
I think like when it comes to creating worlds or creating campaigns, like it doesn't necessarily matter what system you're using. It's all kind of very you can your imagination kind of like can work in any kind of system. It's literally just taking the D&D kind of like bones, um, and the way it works and using their kind of like stats and things like that, and then applying it to something that you've created. Um, but I have to admit, it's been a very steep learning curve. Let's say D&D has got a lot of complicated bits, and there's a lot of maths that I wasn't prepared for. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh god, what's the DC, the AC, and then minus that plus a bonus, and then your proficiency, all of that. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I'm not used to this. Everything else
Yeah.
was just like, do you want to hit him? Yes, you do hit him. That's fine.
And it's
Yeah,
difficult. Like
I
that,
don't
I
know
think
why.
that's why I've never like stepped into the world of trying to DM anything, is because I already invest so much into characters. Like I do literal research on characters. If I don't know how to sword fight, I'm gonna watch YouTube videos so that I can learn how to
Oh wow.
describe sword
Mm,
fighting, because like I put a lot into it, and I can definitely
yeah.
see myself getting lost in DMing and doing that, but I don't have time right now. I got school starting tomorrow morning. I don't have time.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. It's like there's a lot of I mean, I've known some DMs who are just, I will put no prep in whatsoever and I'll just wing it on the day. But then people like myself and probably like yourself, you'd want to do a lot of research, you'd want to kind of put a lot into it, and that it can be really time consuming, especially if you have to make like if you're doing it in person. Some people like to make the terrain, they do like all of the maps, they get the minis all sorted, they have to like figure out all the stats, all that kind of thing. It's a lot, and if you've got a life, like outside of D&D, and any other responsibility, it's hard. It is.
Yeah.
you know.
That's what makes it a little bit easier for us to do the games, and that's actually going to be in one of my next player tips videos. Is like I actually schedule the time that we're going to play out as if I were at a
Mhm.
job or at a meeting, but it
That's
is
nice.
scheduled out time, and that's what that's what you kind of have to do, and it just works out that
Yeah.
my son happens to like to play so that we can do something together and actually
Really
schedule out
fortunate. Yeah,
time. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even with a lot of my players are completely child free, and do you think it's still easy to like pin them down to like a an evening, like for just 2, maybe 3 hours?
Just
Um,
yeah.
oh man, it's so hard. Yeah,
We
really
do
hard.
every Wednesday night for our online game right now, and that's
Mm,
relatively easy for us to handle because it starts at like 6:30, so I can have everything done and work finished and everything
yeah,
done by that time. If you act
everything's all
like you've
sorted.
prepped, do you
That's
really
good.
need to prep, Kregums?
Yeah, exactly. They don't know the difference.
I really could not tell
Absolutely.
the difference if you prepped or not. I don't know what's behind your screen. I don't care. I saw all of the controversy videos and I was going to be like, as a player, I don't give a, but I just decided to not make that video.
Oh, you should have, because like, yeah, it's something that preys on. I suppose I don't know. I can't speak for every GM or DM, but I mean, it preys on my mind a lot. Um, it's like, are they enjoying themselves? Is this what they wanted? Is this enough information for them, or is it too much information for them? Like, do they know that that I was completely just absolute bullshit and I've made it up on the fly? Hopefully, they haven't spotted it. Um, yeah,
No, no,
it's a whole
we
thing.
never do. We never do. I'm gonna be honest. We never do. We don't know what the fuck is going on until there's a bad guy in front of us, or like in
Yeah.
in my case, until there's like a serious clue to what we're supposed to be doing. I I'm just there, man. I'm just like, hey, I'm here. I showed up. I bought my books.
I'm here. Where's my
I
loot?
don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Come
No,
here.
it's
Come here.
yeah, it's a thing. I mean, all of mine at the moment are online. I haven't got any in-person ones. Mainly because one of my players is like the other end of the country. But it's thank God for having a kind of them not being able to physically see me because we do it all kind of like Skype and stuff like that. We just kind of do voice chat. Um, and when something happens, they can't see me frantically looking through every kind of source book. Just like, fuck, what is this thing? God, I don't know. And just, yeah, you find some loot. Shit, what loot do they find?
Yeah.
So
You
yeah,
find something.
um,
Hang on.
yeah. It's crazy. Like I can try and prep so many, like a million possibilities, and they'll still manage to find the one thing that I have not prepped for. So now I'm just like,
Uh,
what's the point? I'll do like
yeah.
the main kind of like structure, and the rest of it we'll have to wing it because I just couldn't keep up. They're too chaotic. A lot of them. They're like, oh, we'll just do this thing.
I will be
That's
honest.
crazy.
We spent like a literal hour of real time. I can't tell you how much in game time that was because I don't even know, but an hour just messing with animals that we had got at a fair.
I love
And
that. That's
like
so good.
after the session is over, like we get messages in the chat and he's like, well, I don't have to prep for next session because you guys just totally railroaded the whole thing. We went off track by like 4 hours and we're like,
Yeah.
oh, were we not supposed to play with the animals that you gave us? So sorry. Stop
It's like,
crying.
but it was so cute. I couldn't help
Yeah,
myself.
I need
Yeah,
to know what I'm dealing with here because like I spent money on this thing. I need to know things about it. I need to play with it. So
absolutely, absolutely. Can I ask what the animals were?
um one of them bought a mystery cage and it was like a ferret, I
I love it.
think. I bought a
That's cute.
raven just because there's
Oh,
art. You can't
nice,
see it because it's dark in here, but there's raven art on my wall, so I literally in real life
nice.
wanted it. And then the other person got a cat because she had said that her character just like really likes cats. Like there was like a tabaxi running around, and she's like I want to pet that. You're like, no, you can't. That's a person. You
Stop it.
cannot pet that. Stop. Yeah,
We'll just have to get her an actual cat because this is
yeah. So we
just
gave
getting
her a
too
real
much.
cat. So we're just.
That's really sweet. So do
But
you have these
we
like little animals with you now the whole time?
yeah, there, and that's the
That's
game that
cute.
we play every week. That's the one that I probably talk about the most because I'm invested the most in it. We play every week, and we actually do
Okay.
use video chat, which so they can see, like they can see your face the entire time. So if you're just like terrified or I have a lot of faces, and I have to mute myself because I like will literally be yelling. I have to mute so that the other players can't hear me like, oh my god, we're in so much trouble right now, stop touching things.
To be fair, I've got a player that mutes herself a lot because she feels like her overreactions will be distracting to other people. I'm absolutely, please keep your microphone on. I live for those overreactions. I do all of this to hear those reactions. So absolutely,
Yeah,
from a GMDM perspective, please, we love to hear you kind of get really enthusiastic and like super into it. So yeah, keep
yeah.
that microphone on for,
And then
for
that
next time.
that's the game that we have our in between role play chat on. And
Oh yeah.
so I mean, he's an absolute genius for doing this because it was our idea to have the role play chat on the Discord, but it has
Mhm.
become his idea to be a part of that chat because my character, and I'm not going to talk about anybody else's characters because there's other ways that he infiltrates being able to know what your
Ooh,
character knows.
sneaky.
But
All
my
right.
character is a cleric, and her god is in contact with her. He's actually blessed her weapon, and
Mm,
so that's how he infiltrates the RP chat with her. So he knows what's
nice.
going on. Yeah, yeah.
That's
We've
very
been
sneaky.
arrested.
That's
We've
very sneaky.
like I can talk about this now because it's already passed. But we got arrested for using magic in our instead of using strength, we were using magic
Hmm.
throws as arm wrestling, and we were
I
doing it in
like
a
that.
town that we had not investigated this town. We rolled in and immediately went to the inn, and we were in the RP chat rolling strength checks and doing arm wrestling and using magic. And the
That's
next
cute.
morning, we were faced with 50 town guards because we were illegally doing magic. So,
That is good. As
so
I should. Sorry, go on.
yeah. No, I was just saying it's real in-game consequences have happened from the RP chat. That I mean, there's stuff going on at this very moment, like that's going to affect our game on Wednesday. So it's become like super
Dare I
interesting.
ask?
I can't even spill the beans on that one yet because it's still ongoing.
Oh, dang it. Dang it. You'll
Yeah.
have to fill us in later. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, it's too much. Too juicy. Um, Yeah, no, I don't have any familiars yet in my party. But I mean, we've got like an out of character chat thing for my group, but I don't know. See, I'd like to have them have something in character so they can, I suppose, like grow together as a party better.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like I've been having issues with some friction in the party anyway. But having something like that could potentially help ease some of those tensions if they can kind of, I don't know, figure each other out a little bit more or kind of like understand intentions or things like that. That might really help. Um,
Yeah.
if I can convince them to to actually talk in it, because I could create this like Discord and they just
Yeah.
like
And
it's getting them to use it. So yeah.
it's also kind of a tool to help you explore your own character because
Mm,
if you've like I know on the last live I had spoken about like I've been online role playing since the infancy of the internet basically since Yahoo chat rooms were the only real thing going on and like you could do text by text based chat
yeah.
role plays um and if you've never experienced that and you don't know how to do that it will
Mm,
teach you not only how to role play your character once you're on live, once you're talking, it'll help you kind of understand your character because, like, what would your character do in this situation? Would they go
Yeah.
along with the beer drinking and the arm wrestling, or would they be like, we need to calm down, guys, we're in town?
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I agree. I guess equally as someone who has grown up on AOL and MSN
Yes.
and things like that, it's a whole world that I think a lot of kind of newer generations aren't used to. The whole kind of like written role play.
Yes.
And yes, it makes you a better typist too. Absolutely.
Yes.
You learn to type real quick.
Especially in a
That's all of my
combat, you're
typing skill. Yeah, come on. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I know my party probably wouldn't use it because they're not used to that. They don't really kind of like gel with it as much. They're really new to the whole kind of like RPing thing anyway.
yeah.
Um,
Stop
and
it.
they're very visual group. Um, so which is one of the reasons why I couldn't. I mean, I don't like Roll20 much anyway,
Yeah.
but I had to move to a program called Tailspire, which is you can get it on Steam, but you basically build the board like a giant Lego set, basically. And you have like little minis and stuff you can move around the board and things like that. Because I knew they needed that. It was a way of them kind of like seeing the world they were in, kind of being able to kind of feel a bit more immersed in it, rather than kind of just looking at a top-down map. But don't get me wrong, if this was all like if I could do this in person on a table with like with a nice map and like with the minis and everything, oh, I would absolutely die. I think that'd be so good.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, yeah, so I had to have yes, yeah, I had to have something else because I would lose them. I think. I mean,
Dinner
as
and a
good of a
game.
storyteller as I am, but
Yeah,
sorry,
dinner
go
and a
on.
game that they like Foundry, and I know there
Mm,
are a few different hosting websites. I just learned Roll20, and I had to basically teach it to 5 other people because it is complicated if you do not
mm,
like, especially even the character sheets, because there's macros on that character sheet that you can accidentally toggle and make your character like a monster. We had somebody that had like, it was like 28, 26, 30 on all of its stats. He's like, I don't know what I did wrong. So I went on. It was
mm,
like she had gone into the macros by accident and placed the numbers that were
uh,
supposed to be stats into the macros. So it is insane.
it's a whole mess. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't envy someone having to just kind of dive into Roll20 without having seen it before. I mean, like if you have a knowledge of the character sheets already and you kind of like know how the process is, you can kind of like figure out because you know what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
But I think for like brand new, like having someone like yourself who can actually kind of like walk them through it is like invaluable because I think it would be a lot. It'd be hard
Yeah.
to figure out if you had
Well,
no
and
idea. Um,
we've gone through like 3 level ups where we kind of got everybody together, and me and my son, both of us, because he's better at this than I am, but we would help them out and kind of like, okay, so these are the racial abilities, these are the class abilities, these are the spell slots that you get. Make sure that you're looking
mhm,
at this
mhm.
and noting all of this down, um, and kind of helping them out. But they've actually turned into, because they already did role playing stuff prior to Dungeons and Dragons, so they've
Oh,
taken
cool.
off like little ducks to water. They're amazing. Like we don't use D&D Beyond. The only thing we have right now is the Discord and Roll20 for that game.
Mm.
I have a D&D Beyond that I use for character roll-ups. It's where I keep some of my
Yeah, I love that.
crazy
Yeah.
ideas. And we use a lot of the wiki, like the Wikidot stuff. Like to pull up the information really quick. I kind of keep it pulled up during games, so if anybody has a
Hmm.
question, I can research it really quick.
Yeah, that'd be great. Dungeon Mistress Katie is just saying that she uses a browser extension for D&D Beyond for her character sheets on Roll20. Ooh. Oh no, sorry. Browser extension for D&D Beyond because she hates the character sheets on Roll20. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
and
I should look into
yeah,
that. Yeah,
they're
I
a little
love.
complicated.
Mm, um, I've got a question from Mikey Kent. What other games would you want to play? I think you both would enjoy World of Darkness. Ooh, I've not heard of World of Darkness. Uh, Other games that I have played and have enjoyed. I've played Seventh Sea. That's a fantastic game. It's basically Princess Bride the RPG. Um, there's Call of Cthulhu, obviously, being a big horror nut. I love that. Um, and oh bloody hell, what was the other one that I played? My brain. Deadlands was the other one that I played, which I think is a Savage Worlds one. But that's like cowboys and um, zombies, like horror cowboy mashup. It's fantastic. I love it. What about you? What would you play other than
Um,
D&D, or what do you want to play?
I did play Vampire the Masquerade, but as a live action role
Oh
play
yeah.
back like in the late 90s, 99, 2000, some I don't even remember. But we did play that
A
for
while
a
ago.
little while. I've seen a lot. I've run into Beggar Talk, which I didn't know what that was until I found it, and then I was like, oh, okay. But there's quite a few games I would probably play. It just really depends on getting my interest in the character that that's going to be in the game. That's usually how to get me all
Yeah.
like crazy about it is the good character.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think once you've kind of started thinking about character creation and you're like, oh yes, I really want to play this character now. It's like the setting is kind of like secondary because it's like I just want to play this character in something in this world. Yeah, 100%,
Yeah,
100%.
and my schedule
Um,
that is true. Sorry.
yeah, no, yeah, schedule absolutely. I would play a game every evening if I could, but here we
Yes.
are.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm in 3 games like right now, and then so like I said, class starts tomorrow, and I'm in
Mm,
3 classes, and then also there's some side training stuff that I'm on. I have a day job.
yeah, so
I run homeschool, and I also have my own business. So I'm like,
jeez, how do you
yeah,
have time for anything, let alone yeah,
I
role play
don't
games? Jeez.
I don't have a social life except for role play games. I just play fake characters.
To be honest, I'm very happy not having a social life. I'm such an introvert. I'm just like, no, it's fine. Don't ask
Yeah,
me the day of if you want me to do something because I won't want to do it. I have to have
yeah.
at least about 2 days to think about it. Yeah,
I
gear
definitely
myself
have
up
to
for whatever this might be.
prepare if it like I told Patrick on the last live I do an event at the House of Blues every year. It's a vampire ball. There's always entertainment,
Oh,
and
awesome.
I've been doing it for like 7 years now. So last year it was all run online, a virtual event because of COVID.
Hmm.
So I didn't get to go. It was the first time since 2013 that I didn't get to make it to go and help set up and get our guests in the door and make sure that everybody's having a
Hmm.
good time. So fingers crossed that this year it happens because I'm going to be able to post live from there and post videos of
That'd be
all
so
of the people,
cool.
all of their costumes and stuff. House of Blues
Oh,
in New Orleans.
oh man, if I'm there, what time of year did you say it was? When is it? Can I get a flight?
It's it's Halloween, and yeah, you can totally come hang out because
Oh, that'd
we
be so
actually get
cool.
people from uh, whenever things are normal, not
Hmm.
lately, but we get people from France, Germany, sometimes Japan. If we're super lucky, we get a few people that love us that come from Japan,
That's
Italy.
amazing.
Yeah, they come from all over the world to come and hang out at the House of Blues with us and dress up and run around the town and scare the regular normal tourists because we're not the normal ones. We're the weird ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that sounds amazing. I've always wanted to go to like the sort of Venetian masquerade ball type thing. Oh, that just sounds amazing. Yeah, that's so
I want
cool.
to go to the real
Um,
one. That would be so cool. Like
right.
the real one in
Yeah,
Venice in Italy.
that would be amazing. That would be so good. On my
Uh,
bucket list, along with a million other things, but yeah, absolutely.
Dinner
Oh,
and a
you're so
game.
lucky to be able to do that every year. That's so cool. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, he's asking if it's related to the Anne Rice Masquerade Ball, and it's not. I actually know a few people that run the Anne Rice Ball, but it's a different one. It's actually the Endless Night Vampire Ball. They do events
Mm.
in LA and Vegas and New Orleans and New York. And I think they're trying to get back overseas. They used to do stuff in Germany all the time, but
Mm.
stop crying. I'm not throwing that toy. Quit it. The dog is she's just sitting here staring at me. Just please throw it.
Oh, and apparently there's a labyrinth ball in LA.
Yeah.
Sounds like it would be right up the respective alleys. Yes. Any kind of ball. If anyone's got a ball where I can like wear something fantastic and potentially a mask, I am all up in it. So you
The
guys need to let me know.
the labyrinth of Jareth is like the pinnacle of masquerade balls, and
Yeah,
anybody who runs in
yeah,
these circles,
Jarrett's
they
ball.
know. I haven't gotten to go to one yet. I have two good friends that go every year, but it's gonna happen eventually. I'm gonna get to go.
Yeah, yep, yep, yep. That'd be amazing. Yes, it would be. Uh, then it would
I
just
know,
give me an excuse to buy a dress. That's all I want.
and that's why
An
I have like
excuse to buy a
loads
dress.
of costumes that like all over the place that I don't even know. I haven't put on any of this in like 2 years because we haven't had any events in 2 years. It's the only time I dress up.
Mm.
If we're doing, we used to do like a dinner in the park and stuff like that. Now we dress up
Oh,
to
nice.
go out to things like that. But right now it's just been all school, so all of my stuff just looks like a crazy person now because I'm not going to the events. There's like skeletons and horns and feathers just poking out of this shelf. Like the maintenance guy probably thinks I'm so crazy.
It's like, what the fuck is this? Cyber Panda's asking, do we have Renaissance fairs near us? Yeah, I come from the land of medieval and
Yeah,
Renaissance fairs. They are everywhere. Yeah,
you
I
guys
love them.
probably have the better
Absolutely love them.
ones.
I don't know about better. I think sometimes we have like I suppose better locations maybe because we can have them in like actual castles. Um, I went to one a few years ago that was absolutely incredible. The castle's I think it's called Hertzmansow Castle. Don't ask me to spell it. It's not spelled how it's pronounced in any way. But it has just having this procession of people on horseback, all in their fancy dress across the drawbridge of this castle. I mean, it was just absolutely insane. I mean, it looked absolutely incredible. Um,
Yes.
Obviously, like the jousting and all that kind of thing. But I think from what I've seen of fairs in the States, I think you guys do like you just go all out. It's insane. Like I don't think we have it quite as on the scale that you guys do. I don't think we have nearly as many either. From what I've witnessed, like what I
Yeah,
see online and things like that. But yeah,
each state can have multiple ones. Like Louisiana has the Louisiana Renaissance Festival, and then Florida has the Tampa Bay Renaissance Festival, and I know
mm,
that Florida actually has another one, but I don't know the name of it. And I think Louisiana's Renaissance Festival is like the biggest one, but not the only one. And they do
yeah.
go all out. There's the falconry, there's singers, there's mermaids. You can throw
See, we don't have
tomatoes.
mermaids at ours.
Yeah, you can throw tomatoes at a jester. You can. Um,
That's amazing.
the queen stopped us at the Tampa Fair because we were dressed as vampires, and so the queen stopped us and pretended to faint, and all of her ladies pretended to faint as well. And yeah,
That's so
it was
fun.
really immersive. It was probably one of the better experiences. Like, um, I don't know why we don't have in America because we are like so lush over here. I don't know why we don't have like a year round LARP like festival
Yeah,
that you could go to, like a Disney World or something, but LARP, and you could go in and make your
yeah.
OC and dress up and create yourself.
Why don't we make this happen? Business idea right there. We
Just
should put together
running
a
around.
kind of like a park of sorts.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, something that I've thought about here as well because LARPing obviously happens. There's a lot of like, and we have a huge reenactment like community in the UK. I think that's
Yes.
a lot of our Renaissance fairs are generally a lot more kind of like historically accurate than just being able to like be something fantastical, if that makes sense, which is a bit of a
Yeah.
shame because I would love to dress up as a mermaid at a Renaissance fair. It would just be so good. But it would be a bit out of place. So we definitely do more of that. And I think it wouldn't take much to be able to just like if you had enough money or a group of people who wanted to invest or whatever, buying like a plot of land, building basically like a shire, like or just like a little kind of like village with like a tavern in it or something, and then just having a load of land, and then people can go and larp to their heart's content, come back to the like tavern at the end, have like rooms, or you could rent out a little hobbit hole for like a weekend or something. Like
You like
whatever. I think it'd be great.
do like
It'd be
real
so good.
adventures, not maybe not real like monster encounters, but real adventures, treasure hunts or
Yeah.
things like that.
Yes, you
Teaching them
could
how to
definitely
ride
do that.
horses.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be really, really cool.
Big fan of
Oh,
Let's Build the
ideas.
Shire.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's like, this has to happen now. Yeah, like when I have the money, I will do
Yeah,
this for you guys. I will absolutely do this. I'll build a wizard's tower, all of that kind of thing. I'll do it. Um, yeah,
we'll figure
I think
out
it'd just be a
dragons
great
once we
place.
get there.
Absolutely, yeah. Even if it has to be a gecko for now, people can use their imaginations. It'll be
I've
fine.
got a
Just
bearded dragon. She's kind of big, but
there
she's
you
not very
go.
fast.
Yeah.
So
You could just have her like in front of a magnifying glass. She'll look much bigger. Um, that's super cute. Yeah, it'd be super cool. Like if anyone ever knows of anything like that, like you could stay away for like a few days and just have all this land and
um,
stuff at your disposal. That'd be amazing. Yeah, really
Dinner in a
cool.
Game said that they opened a year-round weekend fantasy RPG LARP in Utah. He thinks
Oh
so. I need to
man, that's
go. I
cool.
need to go and find them and get a job.
Yeah, everyone's just like beeline for that place. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be cool. Oh man, we don't.
But
Yeah, we don't
imagine
have
like,
anything like that over here.
but imagine that. But like you actually when you encounter the NPCs of the park, so you actually have to roll for initiative or roll for to make it across the bridge and stuff like that.
That'd be really funny. That'd be really, really funny. It's like roll for persuasion. Ah, you fail. Go.
You fail. You don't get dinner tonight. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. It's like, can I get a discount? Roll for persuasion.
No
Nope, you don't.
discount.
Um, and they have a special discount for anyone who does a nat 20 on their roll. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, that'd be really cool. Yeah, having like NPCs and having I don't know, like treasure maps or like quests and stuff. It'd
Yeah.
just be. Now I'm just imagining this thing. Um,
Because like that's
Dungeon
why
Mistress Katie said she can probably engineer a dragon. Theatre kids are pretty good at props. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Get them on it. Um,
I can do props. I don't know how well I could do a dragon, but I've made a glowing staff, so I think that maybe I could get to a dragon if I keep trying.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, just do it in stages, like little segments, and yeah, then the maintenance man definitely will be very confused when he comes in and sees like half a
Yes,
dragon on there.
probably. Yeah,
Yeah. Yes, let's do it, Cyber Panda. All three of us right now. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make it happen.
I'm ready. I can
Yeah.
do. I'm like terrified to say what I really do as far as like work goes or what I'm in school for because I did not know until I got onto TikTok what a spicy accountant was. And now I know, and I'm like a real life accountant, so I can't say that I'm an accountant because people are like, "Oh, okay, what?" And I'm like, "No, not I, the QuickBooks kind." Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I have lots of friends who are into SW work, and I'm down with it. I just did not know that we
Cool.
called them spicy accountants on TikTok until recently.
I did not know that was a thing until just now, so that's fantastic.
Yes, yeah. So
I'm
I mean,
learning new things every day.
I was gonna say I can do like accounting stuff, QuickBooks for the park. You know, I can do all of that fun stuff,
Amazing.
admissions and keeping track of things.
That's fantastic. My background is a lot of marketing and events, so that works out well. There you go.
We we have this, and unlike
Yeah.
all we got to
So,
do is put
anyone else?
elf ears. Yeah, elf ears on. I know Patrick's in here. Patrick is an amazing writer.
Yeah,
So we have
absolutely.
storylines like forever if we just capture him.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And then we've got
Yeah, he can write all
dinner.
the quests. Yeah, absolutely. We need a few
dinner and a game.
NPCs, guys, if anyone wants to do
Yeah,
that. Sorry, go on.
they're in there. We're just gonna go ahead and you've all been recruited now to work for the
Mhm.
park.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll need to come up with a name. So any suggestions, pop them in the comments. I want to hear what the suggestions are for this LARP theme park that we've somehow manifested.
Yeah,
You can be the
gonna.
Jolly Tavern owner, Cyber Panda. You'd make a great Jolly Tavern owner. I love that. That'd be fantastic.
I
Yep,
think I'm gonna go for
as
the
long as you
role
can
of like
serve a good wine.
creepy witch in the woods or something. Probably be a good. I'll just hang out by the edge of the woods, like
You could be the wise oracle that people come to see. Yeah.
get a get a better set of dice. That's the only advice
Just
I
like
ever
my
give
advice
people.
to you, better dice.
Yeah, just better dice. That's what the only advice you're ever gonna get out of her.
Yeah. It's like, try these. And you have to try and sell them some amazing dice. These are very special. It's like magic beans.
As long as they just don't roll those ones, man. Ugh.
Yeah, yeah. Apt Metaphor wants to be the maternal herbalist who always has the tea. Yes, absolutely. You can
Yes.
be our herbalist. That's fantastic. Um, since we all met on the Clock app, Clock should definitely be in the title. Ooh, interesting. And Dungeon Mystery Katie wants to be the bard, running around and singing. That's absolutely fine.
Yes, deal. Accepted.
Yeah, I should be writing all of this down. It's like, right, get it all, signed and everything. It's like, you've committed now. That's it. Yeah,
Everybody
that's
has
what you.
already signed over. If you've joined this live, you are now committed.
Yeah, this is a legal contract. Are you writing that down in this chat? That is it. It's legally binding.
And you guys all play in D, like you all play D&D, so you knew about sirens and all of that before you joined into.
Yeah,
Yeah, you knew what you were doing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You had been warned before. Absolutely.
That's like how
Yeah.
to
God.
make people like never join my lives now because they're like
Oh
terrible.
God, what am I
He's
signing
rich.
into? Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what we've created. We've started this thing. Hopefully, there's no one listening who's going to steal our idea. I've got my eye on all of you. If I see a LARP theme park prop up, in the next kind of few months.
So we shall start the promotions and GoFundMe. That way, I think everybody's on board.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yes. How did we get over onto that? Oh yeah, just like Renaissance fairs and things like that. Yeah, there should definitely be more of them. That would be great. I am looking forward to kind of them coming back into safe
Existence.
kind of like parameters and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone's dying. I'm like, I had booked for a Comic Con this year as well, and it's been pushed back, obviously, till it was going to be this summer, but it's moved back to the winter. But I can't wait. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Um,
I know that. It's like that's what I was saying. Like I want so bad to be excited for October, but we don't know. I'm as far as I know, it's still a go as long as people are vaccinated and wear masks. So that's what I'm going with for now.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It'll be hopefully, fingers crossed,
Yeah,
all over soon. I said that a
that's
year ago.
yeah. I said the same thing exactly at this time last year. I was like, it's gonna be fine by October, and then it was not.
Yeah.
But I think things are gonna get better. We just have to get more people that are understanding of
Yeah.
science or the situation. I'm just gonna say that because I don't want to start any shit with anybody.
No, no, that's fair. That's fair. We'll keep politics off the table for now.
Yeah.
I have a question for you back on D&D. So one, describe your character at the moment, the one that you're currently playing, and also describe the character that you've always wanted to play, or you're desperate to play at some point.
Okay, I actually have answers to both of those like ready because
Oh, amazing.
I'm a character.
Okay.
I'm a character fanatic. So, Finny Silvaro is the dark blue tiefling Tempest cleric that I play every Wednesday. She's got white freckles, and she's got like bull horns, but they have metal tips on the end because
Ooh,
she loves lightning. Her god is a god of lightning and storms,
nice.
and she wields a warhammer. has heavy
Mm-hmm.
armor, and she does have heals, and she does have like spare the dying. She can save your life, but that's pretty much not what she's going to do. She's going to throw herself into the front of battle because she fully believes 100% that she is protected by her god, and like to a fault.
Nice. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and we've had an incident in another playthrough where a creature crit failed and it only had a few hit points left, and so when it hurt itself, it died, and she was down to maybe 3 hit points and was looking at death.
Ooh.
And so it solidified this, like, she's never gonna multi-class or anything because it solidified this um devotion to her god.
Yeah.
And she was like raised in a church, so she's always had like really plain meals. She wasn't really treated well because she was a tiefling in a human church, and once her caretaker
Mm.
passed away, she was kind of put into the lower part of the church and like, here's your food, stay away from everybody else. So she's a little
Mm.
rejected by people. And so finding this new group of they're all, none of them are human or half elf or anything like that. They're all odd creatures. So finding herself among this group, it's like it's actually surprisingly worked out and like well for the backstory of the character. So
That's nice.
that's
That's really nice.
that's the one I play pretty much all the time right now. And then the one that I
Mm-hmm.
want to play is I have a problem with unicorns. I love them. So I was like, why can't a
Unicorns are great.
tiefling why can't a tiefling just be a unicorn, right? So then I went from that very thought of a tiefling, uh, maybe purple or pink or blue or something like that, with just a singular horn and beautiful hair, very charismatic.
Amazing.
And so I think I didn't roll up that character, but I have part of the character sheet down where it's a Twilight cleric because I was thinking
Ooh,
like a unicorn that does what? Puts you to sleep and might terrify you? That would be amazing.
that would be amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
It's
So
kind of gives me Clefairy vibes, and I love it. No, not Clefairy,
yeah,
Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff.
Jigglypuff.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I've
that's
just
I
now
have
I
like
really want a Jigglypuff NPC. Just a bard that specializes in lullabies. That'd be just so good. That'd be so good.
like part bard, part
Um,
Twilight cleric because they get like sleep and something else. I forgot. Well, I don't have the book in front of me right now, but
oh,
something
that's
they
fine.
get something right away at first level that makes them kind of OP as a level one, because if they can put you to sleep, they can take anything you got.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's really cool. So I don't know what I'd because it's been so long since I've had like a long-standing character. Like it's all been like little one-shots, and they've all been a long time ago. Um, so I don't really have. I mean, starting kind of one now, but I've not played with her yet, so I've kind of made her. But she's in the game that Patrick is running. I've now got this Gila monster or Gila monster, however you say it. Like basically gunner. So she's going to be absolutely insane. And she was, I know, it looks so badass. I love her.
Yes.
Um, so she's got a Tommy gun. It's great. Um, and she kind of, we kind of like, I'm still kind of feeling out her backstory, but it was, she was a part of like a roaming circus, and they kind of like ended up where they are now. And now she's like basically a bouncer, in this bar. So yeah, it's very exciting. So yeah, but we've not had, other than kind of like character creation session and stuff, we've not kind of had a chance to play with her yet. But I'm really excited to kind of get her in there, and see what
I know you guys are gonna have to tell
happens.
me about that game because
Oh
I
man.
like spoken to him about it too, and I was like, ooh, I want to know the things. I don't know if y'all are streaming or not, but my messages are open. You know that you could just tell me all about it. He said
Yeah, I
he's
will
working on your
absolutely
second
if you want
one now.
to. So yeah, like it'll be, I have no idea what to expect. I don't know what he has in store. Probably nothing good.
Uh,
Good absolutely for story, but I'm terrified as to what the story is going to be. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. But
I think I've
character that
consumed.
I've always wanted to. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I think I've consumed enough of his writing to know that you're good. You're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, like it's I think there's gonna be laughing, there's gonna be crying. Um, yeah, there's gonna be a whole mixture. So I'm equally excited and terrified at the prospect of what's gonna happen. So we'll see how that
And
goes.
the character that you
Um,
want to play, I'm excited for this one too.
oh gosh. I have such a kind of like finicky, not finicky, um, like fair weather, I suppose, mind. Like at 1 minute I'll be like, this is a great idea, and then the next be like, oh no, that's a great idea. I want to do that. So like in a D&D setting, I think it would really have to depend on the setting. Like I think I would be inspired by something there and then. Like it would be a druid, like hands down. Like so I
Yeah.
already know it'll be a druid. Um, I've heard bits and pieces about was it is it Circle of the Mushroom or something like that? I want to say. I don't know.
Um,
Again, I've heard snippets
I think
about it.
it's
Um,
spores. I
oh
think it's
yes, spores. That's
spores.
it. Yeah.
Raina,
Um,
come here,
hey
Grumpy.
kitty.
Yeah, and other cats here too.
um, no, it's fine. My cat is in his bed ignoring me. As he always does. He just likes to ignore me. Um, oh, cute. Um, yeah, I'd like to play around with that. I think that's, but then I'm morbid anyway, so I think that would suit me down to the ground. But I don't know. I've had so many kind of like inspiring thoughts lately, and because of all of you, you keep coming up with great content, great ideas. I'm just like, oh God, that'd be so good. Or oh my God, now I
Yeah.
want to do that. And so if anyone came to me and said, oh, I want to run a sort of like a D&D campaign for you, what do you want to do? I'd be like, ooh, I don't know. I have so many options. I have so many choices. I have no idea what I
Just
want to pick.
pull out a
Um,
binder and
yeah.
just open it and be like, hang on, let me look.
Yeah, flick through, like just sort of stick a pin somewhere
Yeah.
in a thing. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think druid or fighter. I really enjoy fighters. Um, oh no, actually, I know what I want to be. I know what I want to be. Because I've been trying to kind of like sort this out for ages. I'm no good at kind of like homebrewing classes though, so I'm really struggling with it. But there's a class that used to exist called the Jackal. It was like in second ed, I think, and they're
Yeah.
basically spell thieves. So they would like
Yes.
pull spells out of like wizards' minds. Um, I want it so badly. Like I can't find it anywhere for like fifth ed. So I found like a 3.5 conversion and I'm trying to kind of like use that as a base. Um but I would love that. Like if I could have literally from the kind of a desert region and a literal kind of like jackal and kind of with misstep and stuff like that. I just feel like it'd be really awesome just to have like a really kind of like nimble martial kind of class that can also kind of like spell steal as well. I think that'd be badass. I'd love
That's
that.
so cool. Yeah,
Um,
especially like a high magic campaign where you have a lot of sorcerers and wizards running around, a lot of people out on the streets that know magic, stuff like that. Like, yeah.
mm,
Yeah, I have
yeah, it'd be really really cool.
another tiefling that I do on it's bi-weekly every other Friday that's a that's a monk. And I just like I haven't played a monk since probably 3.5. So it was a lot different than it is now.
Yeah.
And she's it's mind blowing. This creature, because I'm not even gonna say it's a humanoid. This creature, because I
This
chose
creature.
like this certain bloodline, and you know she gets a little bit of magic from that, and then we chose a feat that gives her a little bit of extra like spells or whatever, like a couple of spells a day.
Mm.
So not only can she like grab a hold of you and pummel you, but she can do burning hands. That's why I say this is like a
Oh wow.
creature because
Wow.
burning hands is gonna like that's gonna level with her as she gets up. It's gonna go with her, and then she's got like firebolt or something else, some other fire thing that she does. So
That's
I've never
crazy.
built a monk that can do that before. Like I'm flabbergasted by this thing. I'm like, I love this character because it's
Yeah,
martial,
that's
but it
absolutely
has
beastly. That's amazing.
just a couple of spells a day. Because I mean, you only really need
Yeah.
burning hands once. Why do you need that twice?
Yeah, that's very true. It's there, you only need it once. Yeah, 100%. Um, that's amazing. Yeah, I have to say, like, I've never, I don't know why I don't consider monks when I'm thinking of like character creation. They're always like at the bottom of my list. Um, but I really should kind of like move them up a bit. What's the bottom of your list, like of class? Like, what class do you just say, nah, I don't want to play that?
It's it's paladins, and I think people think that I
Oh,
don't like
really?
them. Yeah, and it's not that I don't like them. It's just that I've never played them, and I've never thought like, oh, maybe a paladin. It's always been a monk because I in real life like martial arts a lot and
Oh, nice.
all of that fun physical activity stuff, and then there's the cleric, and it's just because there's it's the domains. It's not really the cleric itself. It's the domains that really make me
Okay.
enjoy clerics because the domains give you kind of so much. Like they really give you a lot in 5e.
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, there's so many different types as well, and you can really kind of make them your own. I mean, that is quite. I think it'd be really easy to kind of just change the aesthetic slightly, or just kind of like merge a couple maybe and make something really unique with clerics. You can make something really like. I mean, you could
Yeah,
probably make something very broken as well. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, you could. Um, but I mean, yeah, it's I like a paladin. I do. Um, I love the kind of I suppose holy avenger type thing with paladins, but also
yeah,
you can have lots of different oaths for paladins to make them more interesting rather than just the kind of for Bahamut. You know, it can be a lot of different things. Like with the clerics, I think if you had you could play around with it, but I absolutely understand why. Like some people are like, yeah, paladins not for me. Um, but yeah, I do like a sort of I think that's maybe why, if because I like fighters. I know it's like a lot of people are, oh, they're really basic, but I really like fighters because I sometimes just really like the sword and board. You know, I just like the kind of being the tank. We can just kind of go in there. Um, but that's why Eldritch Knight is quite fun because you get a bit of kind of magic on top of just being your basic. I say basic, just being kind of purely martial. So I think that's why I like Paladin because you get that kind of innately anyway. You get that kind of bit of magic oomph alongside some heavily plated monstrosity. So yeah, that's why I quite like the paladin.
Adventures with Dan has a question for us. It said, he's
Oh,
pretty inexperienced with 5e, but why the hate for the Ranger?
see, I don't hate the ranger. Go on, you go first. You answer. What's your opinion?
I think that people are building them wrong, and I think that that is part of the problem.
Mm,
I think that if you pair the proper uh, race and subclass with the Ranger, you actually come out with a really good character that's, and yeah, it is a ranged character, but they do have knives. They do have the ability to hit close up too, but you don't really
mm.
want to play them that way. You want to keep them at the back of the fight.
Yeah, yeah. I think I absolutely agree. I think a lot of people just kind of dismiss them in favor of druids or rogues because it's like, oh well, you know, both of them can do whatever better. It's like actually, uh,
Yeah,
I'll stop you there. But I honestly think, as you said very rightly, people are just creating them wrong. They're not kind of using them to their strengths, and I think it's on the side of the DM to really kind of so, for example, one of my players now is he's changing from cleric to ranger. He much prefers ranger, and we've gone to a lot of discussion as to his favorite terrain. Obviously has to be picked, but his where he's from. So where he knows the lay of the land. He knows all of the creatures that are there. He knows all of the kind of things that go on there. He knows absolutely all of the information. So if like because they know innately their terrain, he would be able to very easily go, right, that's where that person's going. I can find that person without even having
yes,
to use a cantrip. You know what I mean? Like, I can do this
yes,
stuff without magic. I don't have to drop a spell to be able to find a dragon or sense a dragon in the area, I know if there's a dragon in the area because something is not right. The birds have stopped singing all of a sudden, or everything's too
Yeah,
quiet, or something has changed. Like, it's yeah. I think there's a lot
yeah,
more to them than yeah. I love them. I think they're great.
yeah. They're a
Um,
great utility to have, and if you build them right and pair them with the right feats and kind of understand what you're building, you're not building
yeah.
a fighter that's going to be jumping into the midst of battle. You're building the kind
Mhm.
of weird guy that's going to be in the trees, like
Yeah.
you know,
The sniper, you know what I mean?
the
Like you are
sniper. Yeah,
there as a yeah. Yeah. I just love, I mean, yes, a rogue could like pick up a bow, but they would never be as depth at it as a ranger. Absolutely.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, rogues have their own set of broken abilities too. That because
mm,
um, there's just a couple of feats that you could do, and like I said, if you choose the right, like think about a tabaxi, or even now my brain's gonna go blank. But like, let's just take tabaxi for example. Like that
mhm.
thing, it's gonna be so fast. It has
Yeah.
up, it has claw attacks if you get close to it, and it all of the things that go along with being a ranger. It's gonna make it um a very like great character to play. Like it's just not gonna be the run up in your face character, and that I think a lot of people choose the crazier classes because they like that part of the adventure, which is
Yeah.
great, which is also
Yeah.
kind of why I built the cleric the way that I did, so that I could be in the front of battle but still have magic. So
Yeah, well, that's it. I think, and Cyber Panda just said as well, he says, I don't think DMs give rangers enough chances to shine. And I absolutely agree. I think just because they're not getting into the thick of things, like you said, like a cleric would be able to, or, a fighter or whatever, doesn't mean they can't have their moments. And I think that's absolutely important for a DM to make sure that if someone plays a ranger, any character, to be fair, I mean, if they're playing, I don't know, a wizard or a warlock or whatever, giving them time to be able to be badass. It doesn't matter
yes,
what class you're playing. Everyone needs a time to be the cool guy, you know.
yeah,
Um, absolutely. Yeah. So if you're a ranger and you feel like you're not badass enough, you need to speak to your DM, basically, because it's nothing to do with rangers. It's to do with your DM.
yeah, and
Um,
then just research before you build. That's one of the, like, I'm trying to make like a little series for like players, and that's one of the things I'm going to end up putting into a video is like
that's a great idea.
that's this is why you talk to your DM, because if they're using Tasha's or
Mhm.
what is
Mhm.
Xanthers, that you need to know that, because those two books as addition to your player's handbook like give you worlds of difference on what you can do to your
Mm.
character. And as long as you're researching properly, somebody else out there has already pretty much done the work on a wiki somewhere or a subreddit. I promise you, just look up what
Yeah,
would
it's
this
there
be like
somewhere.
with this, and somebody's going to have done it and come up with the feats that you should take and the spells that you should keep at hand. Like, oh, the community's huge. Just put it to you that way. It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. 9 times out of 10, someone's had the idea already, or not that to say that obviously your idea is bad, but there is information out there. Someone has done the work. Like you can just
Yeah.
go in there and go, "Yep, thank you. This is great." Yeah,
I mean, I'm
absolutely
all
agree.
for taking a build. Like, I don't see the discretion with character builds. Where like I've seen controversy about that too going around, and I'm like, it's just a character
Mm,
idea. Like, it doesn't. It can be exactly the same, and it's still not the same person presenting the character, so it's not the same character.
yeah,
It
I
can't
absolutely
be. It
agree.
literally can't be the same character, because me and you could have the same exact character sheet and play that character a multitude of ways.
Absolutely, they'd be completely different. They really would be. Yeah. Um, and it's that's the thing. It's like there's as people have said before, I've said in previous videos, there is no unique idea. Everything has been done before in some way, but it's never been done by you before. So you know what? Give it a go because it'll be unique to you because it's you that's doing it.
Exactly.
Um, but yeah, yeah. But I'd love to see that series if you're going to do that. That'd be really great. Really like to
Yeah.
see that.
I've done
definitely.
a couple right now that are just basic stuff, like read the player's handbook, because like a lot of people just don't, and I don't know why.
Mm,
Um, there's loads of information in there that people forget or don't think about. If you just read it and come to
yeah.
the table knowing what 5 feet, or 30 feet of movement is, that's it. That's all I generally, as a old
That's all you
old
need.
just know how to move and what weapons you have, and we're good. I
Mhm.
can help you with anything else beyond that.
Bye, Dungeon Mistress Katie. I could blur your name always. Dungeon Mistress Katie. I say it too quickly and stumble. But I'll see you later. Have a good day. um, yeah, absolutely. I agree. Just it's just the basics, really, isn't it? You just need a few bits, and then you're on
Yeah.
your way. But
And
yeah.
like, I'm just gonna kind of go further into it about character creation and doing your own research on your character, and um
Mm.
not expecting your DM to know everything about your character. Like, I've seen a lot of people that are like, can my character do this? Oh, I don't know.
Don't know, can they? You
I don't
should know
know.
this. It's your character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Mm.
older games. None of the games that I'm in right now have any players like that deal with situations like that. And I just think that being better prepared as a player, your DM puts a lot into it. Maybe sometimes they're improving, but it doesn't matter, because it takes a lot
Yeah.
to change voices, to keep up with everybody else. You have 4 to 5 players, you have all of these other people to deal with. It's a lot, and the least I can do as a character player is to have my shit together. you know,
Yeah. Yeah. So that's all
that's
we
it.
ask. That's all we need.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. We just
And
want you to
and
have your
and to
shit
be there.
together. That's fine.
Yeah, and just show up. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, show up. That's the most important one. The rest of it is
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, Mr. Megamind is just saying as well, he feels that sometimes some campaigns aren't very ranger tailored, so never
Yeah.
being in the favored terrain or drifting in and out of them. I agree. I think,
Yeah.
again, the DM needs to say to the ranger, this is where we're going to be spending most of our time. If it's going to be mountain kind of focused, if it's going to be forest focused, if it's going to be underdark focused. Um, and then if the player still decides, no, I want my favorite terrain is this, then that's on them. You know what I mean? But I think
Yeah.
if they are building a ranger, the DM needs to kind of, I suppose, forewarn them that, by the way, there might not be much of that terrain that you're trying to have as favored. Um, you know,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a
Definitely.
conversation. It is. Mm,
And I mean,
for
and
sure.
you never know when those even if, because like if you have a ranger and you're in town, it does get a little bit more difficult to play with that character, because they don't even want to be there, and as a character they probably are going like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be. um so yeah, you definitely have to. That, I think, part of the directions that I gave were like, kind of loosely choose which types of characters you would play, and then talk to your game master, because you need to know the setting that you're in, the books that you're allowed to use, the types of
Mm,
races that might not be in that world, anything in particular that your GM is going to want to pass on to you before you solidify an idea for a character, because we're there to have fun and not to like. I'm there to have fun. I'm never there to go against the grain of the GM, but I don't know any players that purposely do it. But like I said, if you're better prepared and talking to your GM, you're going to come out having a more fun experience, because you're not
yeah.
going against the, I'm going to be a snow druid in the middle of the desert.
In the desert, yeah, it's gonna be great fun for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there shouldn't be too many obnoxious kind of players out there, but there are some who just love to play a niche, and they will play that niche regardless of what because this is what they want to play. Um, I'm sure I saw it on oh God, I can't remember. I can't remember. I'm sure someone did a TikTok about it actually. One of their players just being like having an absolute fit whenever they couldn't use their favorite terrain because they weren't there, despite being told that they would never be their favorite terrain. But anyway, you get them. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, that's why I think I'm okay with like being pretty flexible with a character, and having a
Mm,
lot of different character ideas on hand kind of gives you the ability to be like, well, I was gonna play a druid, but now that you said this, I have a sorceress that I've been back pocketing for 6 months that I would love to pull out and play instead. So,
Yeah.
but that's just me. I'm also like I'm like super crazy gamer when it comes to the things that I really like. Like if I like it, I'm gonna be all about it and be ready to be there. So
Damn right. Get right into it. And I think as well you have to expect as a player that you will never there will be times when you're out of your element as a character that you'll never be able to use all of your abilities all the time. You're going to be in
yeah,
areas that are going to be more challenging for you as a character, but you're going to have to just accept that. You're not going to be good at everything all the time. Um,
yeah.
don't pitch a fit just because you can't use a spell that you want to use just because but it's just you gotta roll with it.
It's like
Just gotta
it's
do it.
like I said, it's difficult to get someone to like if they want they sometimes they want to play the game but they don't want to learn everything that it takes to play it,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
uh, maybe not seeing that everything that you learn to play the game is like GMs learn times 50 times 100 because they're playing all
stack
of
of
the
books
monsters.
like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Out of interest, what is your kind of like favorite type of area to play in? So kind of like favored terrain, but not favored terrain. If that makes sense. Like, where do you
Um,
like best to play as a player? Underdark or like the forests, towns? Like, what do you prefer?
um, the towns and forests near like harbors and shipping places.
Nice.
And I want high magic settings. Like if you have flying fish
Ooh,
in your
okay,
world or something crazy like that, I'm
that's
in it.
cool.
I'm into it
It's like, give me
100%.
them flying fish. I admit,
Yeah.
I admit.
All of the weird stuff like magic
Nice.
seeping out of the pores of the very ground that you're walking on. I love stuff like that. I mean, it's not hard for me to play in a no magic campaign, but you will find a lot more of murder. Like my character will have a lot more like murdery tendencies rather than magical solutions. Like just be like, well,
I'll just need to
if
murder these people.
if all we can do is kill, that's what we're gonna do. I don't know. So
Fair
I
enough.
have my preferences.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like there's something about the aesthetic. Well, I don't know. It seems to be more visceral in my mind, like a harbor. You can almost like you can hear the bells of the ships, like you can hear the gulls, you can kind of smell the sea. I don't know what it is. It's like it's really
Yeah.
it's almost like one of the more real kind of like areas, I suppose. It kind of just seems really visceral to me.
Yeah.
They're great. I love them. Um, Adventuring areas, I probably love um, a forest, and like abandoned towns, like
Ooh.
ghost towns. They're always really cool. I like a ghost town. I mean, everyone loves like a castle or a ruin, but like, yeah, a ghost town is cool. I like a ghost town.
What about
Yeah.
least favorite terrain?
Oh, um, that's tough. I don't know if there's like a least favorite. Maybe like mountains. I feel sometimes mountains can be a bit boring. I'm sure they're not. Like I'm sure it's just like if you could figure out a way of I don't know. It just feels very arduous a mountain because you're climbing it. Unless you're going like under it.
Yeah.
Very Lord of the Rings. Um, yeah, I feel like mountains can be a bit. Um, it's a lot of kind of traveling and traversing and trying to climb up things rather than necessarily like actually doing a thing.
Yeah.
Um,
For me, it's got
yeah.
to be caves.
Oh,
Like the
caves, really? That's interesting.
yeah, and it's like I don't know. There's a lot of things you have to be very careful of in caves, and
That's true.
you can't use very loud um spells. You just have to be more careful in a cave. And I've had experiences as a player, and it's always in like a small enclosed cave. It's like all the bad stuff happens down there.
Yeah, the as soon as you go underground, it just seems to get serious, doesn't it? It's like there are so many things here that just want to eat me. It's like stepping
Yeah.
foot in Australia. It's just instant bad. Everything here
Yeah.
wants to kill me. Even the rocks want to eat me. So, yeah, that's fair. Um, just seeing in my chat if there's anything. So- yeah. Ramal saying that it'd be interesting to do a story with one character staying really true to their alignment and another character that's kind of shifting as they go, just to kind of see that story arc and think that could be interesting. Like if you started with two potentially good characters all going through an experience and one of them the experience is having a negative effect on. It's like what they say. It's like I don't know. God, I can't even think of what it is now. Having a bad experience, you're kind of what makes you strong is being able to come out the other side of it, sort of like a better person.
Hmm.
And sort of like seeing one person kind of like pushing through and holding on to their faith potentially if they're a cleric, and the other one maybe it twisting their kind of like perspective or saying maybe there isn't a god if they're allowing this kind of stuff to happen,
Oh,
crisis of faith, that kind of thing. So yeah, that could be a really interesting story arc. Yes, I like that.
that,
Thank you very much.
yeah.
I'm writing that down.
That made my mind kind of key up on something like, what if you had two groups of players, and one
Mm.
group was good and the other group was evil, and they are playing the same campaign, just opposing goals.
Ooh,
And like
that's interesting.
you as the DM are the only person who truly knows what's going on in each faction or what they're doing to each other, because yeah,
That's
that would be a
fiendish, and I love
that would be, yeah,
it.
that'd be a crazy undertaking. And like, I don't know how many people you could actually convince to play an evil party of characters, because I don't know many people who are willingly like, let me be evil. But that would be a
I don't
cool
know. There's a
game
few.
setting.
There's a few. Um, what have we got? Oh, we've got a question. Before I go on to the question, Mikey Kent saying, it's a ton of fun. I've played two parties against each other and they didn't know the other existed. That's really interesting. Can you imagine like the BBEG is just the other party, like, and you just have
Yeah,
to fight each other at the end. Like that'd
that
be
would be so
crazy.
cool. Yeah,
They think there's this like evil kind of group going around and they have to try and find them, and it's actually the other group. That'd be insane. That'd be so
that would be
crazy.
a. I don't know.
Um,
That would probably take more than a one shot, but that would be an insane one shot, though.
yeah, yeah, it'd have to be at least kind of episodic in some fashion. It'd just be crazy. Um, I have a question from DM Strife Wolf. There we go. I got it. I had to read that. What's the biggest plot twist you've pulled off or been witness to? Mm,
Mm.
interesting. Um, for me, it wasn't a D&D campaign, but it was actually a Call of Cthulhu sort of one shot that someone was running for me. I was a character in it, and it was called Gallows Walk, and it was like there's all kinds of like weird shit happening. It was very kind of like Goat Man in the woods and stuff. It was very cool, um, and it was terrifying. I mean, he was great at just making me shit myself like every 5 minutes, but the we were out in the this was a few years ago, so bear with me, but we were out in the woods trying to kind of like basically find the root of this evil, quite basically trying to find what it is and dispatch it in some fashion. um and as we got to the kind of the infamous gallows, hence why it's called Gallows Walk, and we were kind of readying ourselves, and all of a sudden we hear this horrific sound and this wrenching as the gallows themselves ripped themselves out of the ground and became this. The gallows were literally walking, and that was absolutely like, I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. I was not expecting it. I was expecting like demon or something, um but that was badass and insane. That I loved that. But I can't talk about the plot twist that's coming in my campaign yet. One, because I haven't quite fleshed it out yet, and two, just in case it gets back to my players. So I'm not gonna talk about that one yet. But what about you?
Um, I've seen in old games, so I'm sitting here trying to remember. I don't remember all of the details of it because it was a long time ago, but it was like
Mhm.
the wizards sister or something like that. It was kidnapped, and we were after the person, and we were trying to find this sister, and it's like the sister ended up being this big wicked sorceress that and
Ooh.
it was like a jab to the wizard too, because he had to like practice, and she's a sorceress. She doesn't practice nothing. She gets all of her stuff magically. It's by her blood.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it was a big sibling rivalry thing, but it was a whole goose chase of us chasing around a person that was not kidnapped at all, but was the one, leading us along, trying to get at her brother or whatever. So, and that one
Yeah, I
was
like things like that.
straight out of someone's backstory. That I don't even know. The
Oh,
DM
wow.
was just like, "Oh, we're picking on you today."
By the way, let's explore your history.
Yeah,
Nice. No, that's really
and
cool.
the ones that are going
So
on
go on.
right now, I can't, like I said, I can't reveal because some of the people,
Yeah.
hey Savvy, because some of the people are still there. I let other people talk about their own characters. I don't really feel comfortable bringing up other people's characters or what they are. Um, so I will only talk about my own and the only things that like I can actually give away about our campaign. So the things that are going on right now are super juicy, and I can't wait for them all to happen so that I can come back and
You
make videos
tease.
and tell everybody. I know.
Yeah, that's fair. Any questions you have for me?
Yeah, yeah.
Come on,
About
spot
your
me.
like
Go on.
your map making and stuff. I'm so interested in your cartography work. When did you get started on doing that? Is that something new, or is it like a skill that you've always
Um, I don't,
I don't know.
I've never it started off as I mean, I've done illustrations and things previously, only for like a hobby. I've never kind of done anything professionally or anything like that. Um, and it stemmed really from firstly me kind of trying to draw the kind of like the local area because I was like, I need to know where things kind of are. So if anyone asks for directions, they're like, yeah, it's just northwest of here, or blah 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 blah. Like just to get my own mind straight for where the party was going to be, and sort of how far away things were and stuff like that. And then I realized, I need to kind of expand this a bit more. So then it kind of grew, and then grew some more. And then I realized that obviously because everything is online, I had to do it digitally. So I had to kind of draw this thing and kind of like send it out to each of them. But it started off, I kid you not, like the file size is huge now because it started off like this tiny little section, and I've just kind of as I've needed to add things on, I'm like, no, this world is too small. I need more things. Um, and to say that like the way I was kind of like doing my homebrew was very much a sort of I only need to build the information and all the lore on the kind of where they are at the minute. I don't need to worry about everything else because it, as a new DM as well, I didn't want to like overload myself or kind of like try and do too much too soon or anything like that. And they didn't need to know anything further at that point. But as I was building the map, and fleshing it out, and I was thinking, oh, okay, this would be a capital city, and then I got thinking about, oh, what would be the government system there, like what's this, that, and the other, and then as I did things and kind of scribbled little islands down, I'm like, oh, this island's really cool, why is it that shape, all that kind of thing, and I know it's just literally all of my lore has now stemmed from drawing the map because like it's just given me so many ideas. I'm just like, why is this the way it is? Who lives here? What's going on here? And then it's just kind of like brewed from that. So yeah, like it's been such an inspiration for my homebrew drawing the map. And I had no intention of it being that way. But I'm very thankful for it being that way. But yeah, it's literally just like I did in that other video, just kind of like a wiggle and then just more wiggles. And refined wiggles. Um, and then kind of giving it a little bit more character as and when things kind of come to my mind. So like there's a section kind of like on the I always have to do the never eat shredded wheat in the kind of like southwest of the map, which kind of basically there's a section of the landmass that's been kind of like torn off of like the main continent. It's all like jagged and crazy, um,
Yeah.
and that has kind of brewed a whole piece about that particular section of the land being basically dead. It's all kind of corrupted, everything in it is like rotting and dying, and so it was basically forced off of the mainland to stop the spread of this like ridiculous corruption and things like that. So um, that is going to be like a whole thing
That's so
for a
cool.
future campaign at some point. Yeah. So like I said, like it just kind of, why is this like this? This is why this is like this now. And yeah, so it could be an epic storyline for another time. But yeah,
Yeah.
it.
I want
So
to
if
get into
anyone's
digital
struggling,
artwork like so bad. I can draw just a little bit. I can paint really well. Digital is the next adventure for me whenever I get to the point of being able to, get the programs or get the pen to draw with. And like so like I watch your videos and I have like two or three other artists that I really love that use the digital
amazing.
artist tools. So yeah, I love it. I think it's great. And the fact that you've stemmed an entire D&D world off of map drawing is like, that's beautiful. Like, that is so cool.
Thank you. I absolutely, I personally find digital art easier, only because I feel like it's a lot more forgiving. Because if you're like, oh, I'll do this thing, and oh, that was really shit. Why have I done that? It's not like in traditional media where you're like, I'm gonna have to either paint over this or I'm gonna have to like, I don't know how I'm gonna fix this now.
Yeah.
This is fucked. Like I've completely ruined
Yeah.
this painting. Um, you can just literally just step back, undo, fine, never happened.
Oh, man.
So it's yeah, for me, it's been I've felt more confident in my artwork because I feel like I can just do, and if it's wrong, then I can undo, and that's okay. Um, so yeah, I fully recommend it. It's not for everyone, obviously. Some people absolutely prefer like traditional medium.
Yeah.
I still enjoy using, you know, if I had the space to get my oil paints out again, I'd absolutely love it because there is still something very visceral and
Yeah.
emotive about using actual paints. Like it will never compare in any way. But for illustrating or doing something that's a little bit more kind of like complex, or like if you wanted to do like the maps, for example, then yeah, like digital's great for that. But if you ever need any advice with like software or what to buy or something like that, I'd be happy to help you with that. That's okay.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. I was
but
gonna, I
there's
was
so
gonna
many
like
different
ask
things.
you about all of that when I get to, not in school, but when I get to a point where I can like get into
Mm.
it and actually put, because I will hyper focus on that and not do classwork.
Yeah,
I gotta do
I'm a hyper focuser too.
Yeah, so I gotta do the classwork first, and then yeah, the digital art is definitely the next adventure that I'm gonna get into. I want to be
Yeah,
able to draw my characters because like I commission art usually for characters, but
yeah.
um I'm not working as much right now, so I can't commission anything. So I gotta be able to do something. I gotta be able to draw them.
Yeah, this is like, oh, I need to do it myself. Yeah, absolutely. I'd say go for it. I mean, it's depending on what you want, it can be an expensive like outlay, but there are lots of options that like if you wanted to, like there are loads of things. You don't have to get an iPad. That you don't have to get an iPad. There's no way.
Yeah,
A lot of people like everything because I follow a lot of kind of like artists on TikTok, and a lot of them have the iPad with it's like iDraw or iSense or something. I can't remember what it's called.
and yeah,
Um, and I don't use that. I use a Wacom, and there are a lot of things that you don't have to get one with a screen either. You can literally just get like a glorified mouse mat basically that you write on, and then you're looking up at the screen rather than looking down at the thing you're drawing
yeah,
on. Which are a hell of a lot cheaper and work just as well. It's just not got an inbuilt screen basically. But anyway, that's like a whole thing for another time. But yeah,
and then
I like I said, I think it's just a lot more forgiving digital art.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dinner and a Game said that they're looking to start commissioning world maps for their homebrew. That
Ooh.
was just a comment that was left in chat, but yeah, I mean that's because I've definitely seen people like super interested in what you do with your maps and stuff like that, which is great because I think it kind of gives other people a little bit of inspiration in what they could do to like expand their world. Because like I don't know, I've like I said, I've never done DMing. I would probably have to go with a module because creating an entire world sounds like a feat, like a literal D&D feat in itself is like creating a world. So keep inspiring people to draw maps and stuff though, because
Thank
it's like
you.
it's awesome. I like the community that I found here. I actually, when I got on TikTok, I've been on TikTok quite a while, but I just didn't make any content. I went around following people and liking their content because I
Yeah,
just was like
same.
interested in seeing their stuff. But then I started finding the D&D community, and I was like, well, I guess there's only one way to get into that, and that's let people
Yeah,
see that I'm a
absolutely.
real person. So yeah, I have my awkward
And we're glad you
videos.
did. No, we love them. They're great. But yeah, absolutely the same. It's just like I had no idea that the D&D TikTok community would be so lovely. I kind of stumbled upon it and I was like, holy shit, you guys are so nice. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously there are bad apples in everything. Luckily, I've not had too much interaction with them yet.
yeah. I just
But yeah, it's been it's been good. It's been really nice, and I've appreciated everything, and I appreciate so much to hear that what I do is inspiring people. I get excited about my ideas and I put them out there, and like I literally just thought if a couple of people like it, that's amazing. I was not expecting all of the kind of like love and feedback I was going to get, but anything I can do to continue to inspire or help or whatever, I'm still learning as well. So everything that you guys are putting out is fantastic for me because I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, absolutely. And if anyone wants to talk to me about anything that I do, you can always drop me a message. I'd be more than happy to help. So
yeah.
yeah, do it. Just let me know.
Is it getting late over there for you? It's getting like midnight. What time is it?
It's half past midnight for me now, so I might call it an evening here if that's okay.
Yeah, I was
Um,
gonna say you
but
probably should get some sleep because I know that you had like
thank you.
a long live earlier. I stayed for as much as I could with Panda, so I saw
No,
that and
no,
I was
no,
like,
it's
she's
okay.
like diving into this one and then taking like a 10-minute break and then diving into the other one. And
No,
I
that's
don't
right.
even
It
think
was supposed to be yesterday, but things got wiggled about. But it's fine. It's absolutely okay.
I
I
don't
love
even
doing
think
them, so I'm happy.
I don't even think we got to our original what we were going to talk about, so we can actually just do another live and talk about that again
Yes,
because we never
that
got
was
to
my
our
plan all
original
along.
plan. You've been incredible and you're like one of the most enjoyable people I've met so far. So I appreciate you and I hope
Oh,
you sleep. And
thank you.
yeah,
That's very, very
we
kind of you.
no seriously like I've enjoyed talking to you and meeting you and it's been great. And hopefully we
You
can do
too.
this again soon.
I'd absolutely love that. I'm looking forward to it, and we'll actually talk about the topic we were meant to be talking about next time, which
Maybe
will be
just get a
great.
little
But I
ADD
mean, even if
sidetrack.
we
It's
don't,
fine.
yeah,
Oh
it's okay. That's fine. But yeah, if anyone for next time, if you want to drop us some like
yeah,
questions for next time or whatever, anything you want to hear about, just let us know. I'd happy to hear it. I'm happy to answer any questions. But thank you, and it's been I've you have no idea how much I've loved talking to you. It's been great. So
yes,
thank you, and definitely we'll do it again. But yeah, send me a
yeah.
message and we'll sort it out.
Yep, I'm about to
Lovely.
send you my Discord thing so that we can connect on
Oh
Discord and
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
right. But I will
That
talk
sounds
to you soon.
awesome.
Go get some rest, okay?
Well, speak to you later. Bye.
Bye.